When I think about equanimity, or in Pali the word is upekkha, the image that comes up for me is from my time in Iraq, in Mosul back in 2005. Every day swung wildly between so many different extremes. One moment, it was a high of pulling off a mission without losing anyone. And the next, it was the gut punch of a convoy hit or a mission gone wrong, or even the quiet weight of a death that didn't make the news but lived in my bones. It was praise and blame, success and failure, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. All of these sometimes rolled into one. What the Buddha called the 8 worldly winds. And I was blown around by these winds constantly. My sense of who I was, good soldier, good leader, bad soldier, bad leader, strong, weak, these senses rose and fell with those winds. Praise would lift me, blame would crush me. When we succeeded, I felt whole. When we failed, I felt worthless. Equanimity at that time felt impossible. But here's what I've learned. Equanimity doesn't mean not feeling. It doesn't mean shutting down or pretending the winds aren't blowing. It means finding a ground so steady that no matter what storm comes, the heart remains intact. The Buddha compared it to a great stone slab sunk deep in a mountain. No matter how strong the wind, that slab didn't move. And yet, equanimity isn't cold stone. It has a warmth. It has a life. If indifference is like painting the whole world gray, equanimity is more like the vast sky. Everything, joy, grief, love, shame, rage, can pass through equanimity, can pass through it, and the sky remains open. For me, learning and practicing equanimity has been about shifting my relationship to what happens. In combat, I didn't get to choose the conditions. I only chose how I showed up. In fact, often how I showed up wasn't by choice. It was a conditioned response. So life is much the same. We can't stop the winds of gain and loss, praise and blame, pleasure, pain, but we can stop handing them the keys to our heart. So here's an example. I remember being told once after a mission that I'd saved lives, and then another time being told that I had blood in my hands. Both of those judgments cut deep. For years, I let them, preferably, most oftenly, the latter one, that I had bloods in my hand, I let them define me. But equanimity is discovering a steadiness beyond those voices, beyond the praise, beyond the blame, a place where the heart is no longer enslaved by what others say, or even by what my own mind says. Another way that I understand it is that equanimity is like being in a firefight and realizing that panicking doesn't change the trajectory of a single bullet. I can still move, I still act, but I act with greater and greater clarity, not frenzy. It's a steadiness that comes not from control, but from letting go of the illusion that I have control. So, how do we cultivate it? One doorway is impermanence. In war, you learn fast that nothing holds safety, danger, joy, grief. They all move through. What once felt unbearable becomes memory. What once felt triumphant also fades too. When you finally see that, your grip softens. Why cling so tightly to what cannot last? Another is joy. Strange as it sounds, some of the deepest joy I've known was in war. Sharing a laugh, watching a sunrise after a long night. That joy wasn't dependent on conditions being easy. It came from connection. It came from love. It came from generosity. Those inner resources, love, compassion, gratitude, are what make the heart steady. When the heart is nourished, the winds don't knock it down so easily. Equanimity doesn't erase grief. It doesn't erase rage. It doesn't erase shame. It lets them move through without drowning us. It's the soldier who can sit with fear and still act with clarity. It's the veteran who can carry shame and still increasingly meet that shame with love. It's the human being who can say yes to life even when life doesn't go their way. A Tibetan teacher said that equanimity means being equally near to all things, not pulling pleasure in, not pushing pain away. In my own words, it's standing in the middle of the battlefield of life and realizing the fight isn't against what's happening. It's against our own resistance to what's happening. When resistance softens, something more spacious, more vast begins to open. Let's practice this together. In meditation, notice how the mind leans forward toward what it wants, and how the mind leans back from what it fears, how it moves toward what is perceived as pleasant, how it moves away what it is perceived as unpleasant. See if you can just stand in the middle. Feel the push and pull, and often soften around it. In that softening, a quiet strength emerges. Equanimity, it's not far away. It's already here, waiting each time that we choose not to be blown over. Each time we remember that the winds will come and go, the sky remains. Let's begin by settling into a posture that feels balanced and steady. Upright but not rigid. Soft but not collapsed. Feel the weight of your body grounded. Perhaps your feet are on the floor. Your seat pressing into a cushion or chair. Let your eyes gently close, or rest with a soft, perhaps unfocused gaze. Take a few deeper breaths to arrive. Breathing in, feel the body present. Breathing out, let go of any tension you've been carrying today. For now, there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Just this moment. Bring awareness to the breath. Feel the rise and fall of the chest or belly. The air moving at the nostrils. No need to control the breath. Let the body breathe itself. And be curious. And notice. Notice how the mind wanders from sense to sense, from images to thoughts, maybe memories to planning, back to a smell or a sound. Just notice. That's not a mistake. It's what minds do. Equanimity begins right here. Each time we notice the wandering, we don't scold or judge. We simply, with curiosity and kindness, we simply just return to the breath. Again and again, thousands of times. This coming back with equanimity is the practice. Just continually coming back is steadiness. Now, begin to widen awareness to include the entire body. Notice sensations. Notice perhaps warmth in the hands, tightness in the back, a restlessness in the legs. And be curious if you can notice the mind's habit here. Just notice when a sensation is pleasant, notice the mind and heart leaning in, perhaps wanting more. When sensation is unpleasant, notice the leaning away, perhaps the urge to fix or escape, to move, to shift. Just be curious. This is the push and pull. This is the ancient habit of wanting and not wanting. And this is important. And you don't have to change anything. The practice is one of simply just noticing. As if you're just watching waves roll in and roll out. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Just passing through. Now, open the field of awareness to include sound. Let the ears receive whatever's here. A bird outside, the hum of a refrigerator, maybe silence, distant voices, or a car. And again, just notice the tendency. Pleasant sound, the mind and heart lean in. Unpleasant, the mind resists. See if you can increasingly just rest right there in the middle. Let sound come and go. Just let sound come and go in the vast space of awareness, like clouds drifting across the sky. The heart doesn't have to move with every noise. Now, turn towards thoughts and emotions. Thoughts arise, memories, plans, self-judgments, and just notice. Does the mind chase after them? Does it push them away? Emotions arise, calm, irritation, sadness, joy. Again, notice the pull toward what feels good. And notice the push against what feels hard. This is where the practice deepens. You don't have to silence the mind or fix the emotions. Just see the movement. Pulling toward, pushing away. In life, the winds blow hard. And yet the skill wasn't in stopping or isn't in stopping the winds. It's in practicing not allowing those winds to decide who I was, who I am, how I speak, how I act. Here in meditation, it's the same. The winds of thought and feeling blow through, and yet you remain steady. Now, see if you can just rest right in the middle of it all. Breath, body sensations, sounds, smell, colors and shapes and forms behind your eyelids, taste, and the mind and its content, thoughts, memories, anticipations, beliefs, emotion. All of it arising and passing. Imagine yourself as a mountain, solid, grounded. The winds come, the winds go. The mountain doesn't move. Or imagine yourself standing at the banks of a river, simply witnessing. Equanimity isn't about control. It's actually about the freedom of no longer being controlled by the push and the pull. Feel into that steadiness now. Feel into the quiet strength of a heart that can hold it all. As we close, sense into the steadiness that is already here. Notice beneath the pushes and pulls, there is a vast stillness. And silently repeat to yourself, may I be at peace with the flow of experience. May I rest steady in the midst of change. And here's a few other I have found helpful equanimity phrases. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm the mind. Take a few easy breaths. Feel your feet on the ground or hands resting your body here. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and carry this steadiness with you. The winds will always come and go, but the sky remains. Thanks for your practice.